Ladies and gentlemen, he is the last speaker for tonight, and it is with so much joy that we want to receive him as he brings his wealth of expertise and exposure in the HR space. Ladies and gentlemen, please make welcome Mr. Adeyemi Ayaji, CEO, Exitom Consulting Limited, as he brings his wealth of exposure to share with us.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to especially recognize Wale Adeyemi. Is he still around? Okay. You know, when you see elders, you respect them. And I want to also thank Ascentech for this invitation. I also want to recognize the speakers who have gone ahead of me to say almost everything I'd wanted to say. So please, I think I will spare you quite some time, but I'll be coming from a different dimension. One of the things that we discovered as far back as 2019, December 2019, before COVID, is that the world is going to change. So when ChatGPT and all those things, I call it ChatGPT. Okay, that's what I call it. So I call it ChatGPT. Now, one thing I want you to know is we have not seen anything yet in the world of technology. It's like a woman that is pregnant. Yes, they said they don't scan, she's going to give birth to twins and all that. But again, there are certain level of uncertainties that would be happening to us. Now, I'll be talking about the battle between AI and humans. Now, when I brought up this, a lot of people say, oh, there's no battle. There won't be any battle. How many of you know that there are regulations, there are calls for regulations now going on about artificial intelligence worldwide? I can wake up and speak into phone, and Emmanuel Michael will think it's his son speaking to him. And you know, there are a lot of identity manipulations, all that going on. But let's look at the trust in artificial intelligence. India is the country that trusts most in artificial intelligence all over the world. You know, I think the survey was done for about 17 countries. That was last year. Now we have China, we have South Africa, we have Brazil, we have Singapore, we have United States, we have Germany, we have Israel. Can you see the BRICS there? The BRICS countries. Brazil, except for Russia. You can see India there, you can see China. And I'll tell you, you can see South Africa there. Someone said, a military intelligence personnel, he said, the war we're going to fight in the future is not a war of atomic bomb. It's the war of artificial intelligence. How many of you know that there are things, weapons designed as mosquito that can kill human in microseconds? You think it's a mosquito. It can pick your DNA, it can run your DNA test unknown to you within a very short time. And it will kill it, you think it's mosquito. So the trust in AI, and don't be surprised why we have India. Because over the world, India is rated one of the top tech hubs in the world. I'm sure you know that. And it's growing. But Nigeria is emerging. We'll catch up with India very soon. So this is how AI will change our world. I just want to focus on the ones that concerns us as HR. Employment. 32% of employment activities will be managed by HR. It's happening now. Some young Nigerian guys approached me some weeks ago. We were having conversations, and they came up with some very crazy ideas. I told them, I said, they should go away. Let me go and pray first. Now, what happened was they told me, they said they want a situation where you can hire within 24 hours. And I said, how is that possible? They run me through what AI can do. And these guys mean business. So AI is going to change the way employment will happen. It's going to change transportation. How many of you know that by now they've started testing robotic pilots? How many of you know that? They're testing robotic pilots, you know, and these pilots have a higher level of accuracy and trust when it comes to navigation. How many of you know that the 5th generation aircraft all over the world, the B-52s that are going out, and all those new generation aircraft, they are not human manned. It's not planned to be manned by any human. So, in a nutshell, we may not have too much military men anymore, especially those that will be in that flight section, talking about transportation. Another that will happen is personal relationship. AI is going to control about 15% of our relationships. How many of you know with Chat GPT? Sorry, I'll call it Chat GPT. I almost wanted to mention GPT. You know, you can cook any kind of food you want. How many of you know that? Yeah, I have the one on my phone, and I just said, oh, somebody said, how can you cook egusi soup? I just went to, it told me everything to do. But you know the difference between Chat GPT and Siri that you can ask? Siri will point you to the source, whereas Chat GPT will process the information for you. Now, there is one part that science will always leave for man. That is the part of human intelligence. Nothing can beat human intelligence. Nothing. Okay, let me move fast. Now, this is how AI will go rogue. We have Indians believing that in 2023, AI will go rogue, and it has started already. Last year, March, the age of artificial intelligence was the thinking of a 6-year-old child. By June last year, it has grown to 9-year-old child. By December, it was thinking like 27-year-old person. As at 2 weeks ago, because I've been following certain trend, they said AI can think more than a professor. So AI, do you know that artificial intelligence now recode itself? How many of you know that? They recode themselves. They redesign their own codes. They redesign their codes to based on information they receive. Okay? So let me move very fast. There's belief that it's going to wreak havoc. Some of the first people that advanced artificial intelligence, they are now afraid. They are calling for regulations. Some people are saying we should shut it down now before it causes trouble. Because there are a lot of manipulations going on. How many of you know, again, that they've done it to such an extent that artificial intelligence at workplace can be used to monitor even what you're doing in your house? Yes. And that is a lot of things that will happen. Let me move quite very fast. So in HR, there was a survey done by SHRM saying that 64% of HR professionals believe that their companies will use AI as tools. 85% employers believe that AI will drive automation for them. It will help efficiency. In 5 years, 25% of companies will use automation AI in recruiting and hiring. 66% of CEO think AI can boost HR. 50% of HR executives agree that AI can transform HR. 92% of HR leaders plan on using AI to acquire talents. Now, there is a question I asked myself. Sometimes in 2019, I was opportuned to interact with robots somewhere in Lisbon. And you know, when you get to a point that somebody knows something about you, you know the typical Yoruba 911. You know the typical Yoruba 911. Egba mi o. You know, I was interacting with this robot. The robot was telling me the name of my wife, the date of birth, the date of birth of my children, my flight hours, every information about me. And I asked, the name of the AI is Thomas. By the way, we don't know the agenda, so we assume that they are extension of humans. And I asked a question that, okay, well, how did you come know about me? He said the moment I fed my information into the technology space, they can easily pick it. Now, let me tell you this. When I get to a point, I'm going to explain some things to you. There is no hiding place anymore. No hiding place anymore. You know, by the time this robot took me through certain thinking, you can interact with this robot. You can ask about what is happening in United Nations and all that. It will interact with you. I don't know whether to use it or he or she, but permit me to use one. Okay. Now, I have two very beautiful Nigerian women, Eniola and Rebecca. They had a research on artificial intelligence last year from Birmingham University. They said the fusion of artificial intelligence with human resource management practices is altering how companies recruit, manage, and engage their workforce. With the use of artificial intelligence, machines are now able to please note that, machines are now able to make decisions based on historical data. Ordinarily, technology is supposed to provide information for you, But artificial intelligence is now even advising you, but leaving you with the option of taking alternatives out of their suggestions to you. So if you want to recruit now, an AI can give you 3 top candidates and tell you these are the best, and this is the one you should choose first, but it's leaving you to take the final decision. So as much as we have artificial intelligence, human intelligence is still coming top. Now, these are some areas. I'll just mention 2 areas where AI will impact our lives. First, at times it takes number of days or months to recruit. But with AI, you can recruit within a short time. It can speed up recruitment process, reduce recruitment cost, enhance employee experience at the point of recruitment. Then again, streamline hiring process. It can also do background checks for you. It can also do what we call cross-border hiring. So if you're looking for expert traits, AI has been designed in such a way that it can go all over the world to get somebody for you and tell you this person is from New Zealand, from Germany, from Japan, and suit for what you need. It will also eliminate bias in recruitment. There are some biases that come with recruitment. You say, oh, this person is tall, is fair, is beautiful, is short, is from my place. But with this, there will be a lot of elimination. There are companies working on this. You see the list of these companies: Paradox, IRView, ICIMS, Textio, Phenom People, JobVite, a lot of them. They are working on all these recruitment processes. Now, in terms of training and development, AI is also being deployed. You have accurate training needs analysis. There was a time that there's this machine that does psychometric analysis online when you go, but it has now advanced with the use of AI. It will not only tell you psychometric analysis of your situation now, it will predict certain behavior that you can have in some years. It will tell you that you are likely, if you go under certain depression, you may become a smoker. So to avoid being a smoker, don't get to this threshold. We're seeing all these things happening. Curriculum design is even easier now for those of us in L&D. For myself, I've used AI to do content search, research, design, curriculum design. It can also be used to track your learning progress, analysis of employee metrics. Let me tell you something about metrics and analytics. You see, the use of Excel, SQL, all those things are now going into AI because they have their inbuilt design that if you deploy it at workplace, it can easily give you information about what can happen, what has happened, and what is likely going to happen. All these are happening. We have other companies already developing some of these AIs, but that's not where I'm going to. Now, what is the future of AI in HR? Now, analytics will become easier and better because you have a lot of data gathering that can be done at the back end. You can improve HR effectiveness and efficiency. You can personalize employees' experience. There will be changes in HR competencies. Lara spoke about all this. And YF has spoken about all these leadership competencies. Emmanuel Michael has spoken about it. So I don't want to go into all those competencies. But I'll just get to a little where I will mention some things that we need to know as HR practitioners. There will be deeper interaction and reliance on AI. We are going to have AI employee. And I think some of you are aware of that. I don't know if you know about this hotel. I don't know whether it's in Japan or China, where when you get into that hotel, you will not meet human being. Yeah, I think they call it Zoom or Zoo Hotel or something, where it is, once you want to eat food, you just punch it, and you have your food being brought by a robot. You cannot tell robot that take it back. I watch a skit of, somebody, this zoo school, I think they converted it to Yoruba, what's it called? To Yoruba language. So robot brought food for this guy, and the guy said, this is not the kind of soup I asked for now. He now said, take it back. Sorry for those who don't understand Yoruba. The robot now said, meaning the robot was telling the guy that, are you mad? Was this not what you... So they're talking about the future of robots in Nigeria. you know. So that's by the way. But jokes apart, we are going to, very soon, you'll be sitting beside robots, working with robots, interacting with robots, AI, you know. Something that we should be very careful about is our social life is about to get narrower with this, you know. So we need to be very deliberate about social interaction, very, very deliberate about social interaction. Again, there will be cross-border AI support, meaning you can have your line manager as artificial intelligence somewhere in India or Peru. Okay? It's your line manager, but you don't know whether it's human being or not. NetGram, a company in Japan, has hired its artificial intelligence as its CEO. Yes, you can look up that, on the internet. And their share price went up very high. Yes, within a short time. Their CEO is an AI, a robot. He holds meeting with them, he interacts with them, and is able to engage them very well. So, I am afraid. But you know, I don't know how that will happen in Africa anyway. Okay? Now, we're going to have dynamic workforce planning. Performance management that will wait till the end of 3 months, all this will change to something that can happen within a short time. Maybe something you can track on a daily basis, if possible. Then we have lean HR. So please permit me to just go past this. Lara has spoken about this, please. Future battle. Would there really be a battle in the future? You see, the person that holds, gun, is not a weapon, or it's in the hand of somebody that understands it. I don't know if you understand. Gun is not a weapon until it gets into the hand of somebody that can operate it. That is when it will have value. You see, AI, with the fears and noise and all this, can deliver good or bad value depending on, who is in charge. And I will tell us, please, HR people, we need to open our minds to the good and the bad side that AI can do at workplace. There are certain thoughts that come about this battle. Let's ask ourselves these questions. Are jobs really threatened by AI? Now, I'll tell you some things that happened way back then with some colleagues of mine. Some people said some jobs will be lost. Truly, some jobs will go. But let me tell you, many jobs will be created. Hello? The head of fleet management in GE is my friend. I think the guy covers Asia and Africa. So we're having a conversation, and they're thinking a certain time they're going to be using automated vehicle. You know, that vehicle that you enter inside and you say that you are going to Oshodi and you ask you which bus stop. Okay? Now, somebody said, that guy told me, he said they're already thinking that way. And I said, what's going to happen to all your drivers? He said they're going to become tech drivers. I said, tech driver, how? He said one of the things they are going to learn, instead of going on a road to be driving, they can sit in their office and know where their vehicles are at certain point in time. There will be tech driver designers. By the time you are building this tech, there will be some people that will just, their own brain is just to say, I know the road where the vehicle can follow, and they will support the builders, those that are building the AI at the background. I don't know if you understand my point. So, whether they like it or not, instead of doing the manual work, they now sit at their, table. They can now control where those cars are at each point in time. Things like compliance issues will start happening. The driver that doesn't care about traffic rules will now become a monitoring spirit. Permit me to use that word. Monitoring that this vehicle is not going inside water, is not crossing traffic. Do you understand? So jobs will totally change. So even if one driver is losing his job, there's possibility that you are going to have like 3 or 4 other job roles coming from it. But the truth is this: it will not happen in all industries. There are certain industries that currently now people are challenging the use of AI there, especially law. You know, there was this AI that was designed and it was used in the US to defend a case. Now they've sued that artificial intelligence. They sued the robot. They said because he doesn't have practicing license. They saw the robot. And the robot was saying, but I know everything you know. They said it doesn't matter. You need to have a practicing license. Again, they surveyed one of the areas where there will be minimization is in medicine. I don't know how many of us here, you say that you want to go and see doctor, and the doctor that will be talking to you will be AI. And to tell you take 2 paracetamol in the morning, afternoon, and night, I can bet you, out of 10 people, 8 people will want to ask human doctor and see what computer is telling me to drink. Should I drink it? I don't know if you agree with me. So we discovered that in some areas, there will be very serious struggle to really eliminate humans. So one thing we should start thinking as HR practitioners is, what are those jobs that are likely going to be reconfigured, that are going to be redesigned? We should be thinking ahead. How can we prepare? Yemi said something very, very germane that, I'm going to work on it as a research. He said, don't panic, plan. Because, you see, panic will bring confusion to your mind. Planning will make you to be more strategic. So please, all I'm telling you is that, please, don't panic. Plan. Plan concerning your own job roles. What are those areas that AI would change? Now, are lives at risk? Yes, no. It depends on how we come about it. Then, will AI be forever? AI has come to stay. The only thing is there will be regulations. You know, there is global data protection rights. Am I correct? Now, I discovered that AI leverages on data so much, meaning there has to be regulation on the data that it can use. There are certain questions you ask from AI. The AI will tell you that I cannot give you this information. I've tried it severally. It will tell me that go and ask CBN, I won't give you. Go and ask the bank, I won't give you. I was asking for the payroll of a particular company on AI, and he said that it's not designed to answer that question. And I know that this thing has limit. I don't know if you get my point. So it will not answer everything. You know what it will make us to become? It's going to challenge us to think better. It's going to challenge us to think better than the way it's been designed. And let me tell you, it's going to be a continuum. Let's say we're at this level of thinking. If AI goes up, it's going to challenge us to go up, and it will keep going like that. So a time is coming that the way we think is going to be very, very different. And I can challenge you that, see, nature creates everything for itself. Some of us here, our children that are 5, 10 years, 15 years old, they are more tech savvy than us. Am I correct? 10 years, 3, they are more tech savvy than us. Unlike my grandfather that I bought iPad for him in the village and he was using it to cut a wedu. I'm just joking anyway. There's actually... if you buy iPad and take it to those old people, they say, this is a very good board. They can use it to chop. But if you give it to a child of 3 years, what do you think will happen? They will open it. Some of them bypass your password. Am I correct? That is making me to think that there's a spiritual side to it. But don't talk about that. Okay? But let's ask ourselves the question, are businesses at risk? From risk management point of view, no. There will be rapid disruption in business space. So HR will not play a catch-up game. HR will never play a catch-up game. You know why HR will not play a catch-up game? For every rapid disruption in a business, human will be behind it. So you must be able to know the antecedent of human. Is the cost of maintaining AI sustainable? Absolutely. They are making AI cheaper and accessible for everybody. The question is, are we ready in Africa? Are we ready in Nigeria? We have challenges, infrastructural challenges. Some of these things, they leverage on internet. You know that? They leverage on but see, they're gradually bypassing the use of all those things now so that life can be easier for us. Now, why do we need to ask this question? AI is not currently regulated, at least global regulation. The age of AI is rapidly increasing. I think I mentioned that. Data and information breach is possible. Do you know AI can impersonate now? Yeah, AI can impersonate. So there are fears around that. Non-accuracy of some outcomes of AI, we can see. In fact, the AI will tell you that some things I'm telling you may not be true, meaning go and find out. yourself. Now, I did an experiment with the one I have on my phone. I asked the same question a few times, and it gave me different answers. And I got to know that they are still at test stage. So please don't over-rely on it too. If you ask it, how do I cook ogbono soup, and it's telling you to go and buy egusi to mix with it, you know there is an error. Just reply, tell the AI error message. Okay? Now, one of the dangers is about self-coding. If you are in the tech space, you will know that if a system can recode itself, that system is dangerous. It can hide the code from you. And if it gets to a point where it can recode itself and hide the code from you, then you have lost total control. So as much as possible, there is what we call enhanced IT security and data security now. So as the AI is changing itself, you need to be tracking it at the back end. Otherwise, the day you lose control of the AI recoding itself, a lot of things will happen. So there's an increasing use of using AI and uncertainty surrounding AI. Can we match or win over AI? Now, let me quickly say this to us in HR space. HR is now beyond managing people. It's now managing technology. You get my point? Now, you're going to hire employee. You're going to also hire artificial intelligence to support what you do. But please, you need to be very careful in the decision you make. So that at the point of finding solution, you are not putting yourself in a more serious trouble. Ultimately, there are high level of uncertainties around these things for now. So if you have to use it, you have to be very careful. Do your research as much as possible. If you want to use it in recruiting, in performance management, fantastic. But please, you have to be very, very circumspect in your decision making. So, AI is not a threat, but, it can become a threat, but can create threats if not well managed. That is, if not well managed. It's not a threat on its own, but if not well managed, it can create threats, okay? Finally, I'll tell you, fear not. Let me tell you this before I leave. You know Motorola and Nokia story. When Motorola came out, they were all over the place. Now, Nokia told Motorola that, see, we're going to take over the market with digital, mobile phone. Motorola said that it's not possible, that we are in the market already, nothing will change the story. But everything changed overnight. While Nokia was still enjoying itself, BlackBerry came, isn't it? And while BlackBerry was still dancing in the market, Apple said, no, Samsung entered. And while Samsung was still singing his own national anthem to commence the program, Apple jumped in. And what was the changing factor? Technology. Let me be honest to you. For us in HR, our brain is more than policy brain. In fact, policy may not be enough to manage people anymore. Policy may not be enough. Because you can write a policy yesterday, technology can be released today to rubbish that policy you wrote yesterday. Okay? So please, if you're a policy-driven HR, you should repent. The kingdom of AI is at hand. Okay? Thank you very much. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
One more time, can we please do a round of applause to our very grand final speaker for tonight, Mr. Adeyemi Ayaji, CEO, Exitum Consulting Limited. Thank you so much, sir.